heading now on to our link up. Yes, with all of Jamaica and the world paying attention to us at this time. All right, so you can log on to um, your Facebook, you can log on to your YouTube, and of course, you can log on as well across the platforms. And let's bring some information to you. We're going to be talking about the elections. We're going to be having a team coming through later on to look at what's happening during the course of today. But we are 25 minutes away from the close of the polls, and we are here to bring you the information that you so require, right? And so, what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to grab one of our phones into the space and get that so we can monitor what's happening this side, right? Okay, so we're going to do that. So, just indicating to my assistant for the day what's going to be happening. So we want to welcome you wherever you are across the world right now, watching and listening us at this time. Welcome to NRP Radio and NRP Media, our broadcast that we have been bringing throughout the course of the day with you online and on air. All right, so stay with us as we go there now and definitely bring on the people that we've been talking to during the course of today. Let's go now, and we're going to play those audio for you as we bring it live and direct to you here in let's go on Facebook Live, and we're going to monitor what's happening there as we continue. All right, so we let's do this. Okay, so we're going to touch base here. All right, so just doing some preparation in studio, and so you will definitely see that we are online with you at this time. So let's share the information with you on Facebook and YouTube at this moment as we go. So let's hit the road in our final report for this evening before we go to our panel discussion, which is coming up at 6:30 right here on NRP Radio.
This is NRP Radio. It's now time to join our reporters on the streets of Jamaica as they give you the latest developments in the local government elections. Here now are the reporters.
All right, and so we're going to be heading to the road now. We're going to be heading over to Portland, and we're going to be joining Gaston Williams, who is providing us with a report from Portland. Gaston, over to you.
Well, this is Gaston Williams. I am in Portland. I have been doing a little bit of rounds in some very remote areas of Portland, places like Craig Mill, Belvedere, up in the hills of Buff Bay, places like Chepstow, and of course, I'm also in the town of Buff Bay. Very peaceful everywhere. Everybody seems to be getting along quite well. The atmosphere is not in the party mood, but it's not in an anger mood either, or competitive mood. So it looks balanced everywhere. There's like an equal number of supporters on each side. This side, I'm heading up into the Snow Hill area, so I'll be looking at the Hope Bay voting area. I'll be looking at the Snow Hill voting area, or stations, or whatever they call them. And I will send back a little bit of report on whatever else I'm coming across. So
Okay.
this is what I'm seeing. It's very festive. It's not festive. It's calm.
Mm-hmm.
You tell him? It's all right. The lady said she will tell him.
All right, so he's doing
There
some
was an
multitasking.
interruption there a while
Yes,
ago.
yes, I recognize
But
that.
this is what I'm seeing. It looks. It looks. The crowd, the turnout, seem to be. The turnout seem to be somewhere in the region of average. If that's a good indication or estimation, it's not overwhelming. in the areas that I'm seeing, but voting is taking place. Voting is taking place. So I'm leaving Buff Bay now, heading to the Snowy area. I won't be able to get into the Port Antonio zones because of some work that I'm assigned, but I will be able to tell you, maybe make a few phone calls and be able to report on those areas. But what I'm seeing so far, it's um, okay. No incident, nothing out of the norm. Gaston Williams here.
All right, so that was
Yes,
Gaston, and he continues with his
reporting
report.
from Spanish Town era.
Okay.
So, approaching the Larison era seems to be very peaceful. Supporters are,
So here we have now, that was Gaston Williams over in Portland. So we head into St. Catherine and we join Mr. Blackstock over in St. Catherine. Go ahead, Mr. Blackstock.
yes, reporting from Spanish Town era. So, approaching the Larison era seems to be very peaceful. Supporters are adhering to the protocols regarding the voting. We can see voters in their proper gears. They are interacting with each other from the different parties. Um, the turnout is not as I would expected. It's not fruitful. It seems to be average. Yeah, I've been up in the Spanish town, in the town itself. Persons minding their own business. Not a lot of persons seems to be interested from where I stand. Also make a I also make a visit up by that we know Winchester across from the bypass. Um and there seems to be more persons up that side, and they seem to be enjoying what they're doing so far. So is and I say order. One other thing I must say, all the places that I've passed, there's a lot of order being displayed stuff by the voters, persons who are voting, and the JCF is presence is there, and persons are working right with the officers cooperating. So it's very peaceful thus far.
All right, so that was Mr. Blackstock. Let me just give you his correct name at this time, Blackstock, who came out of St. Catherine for us. We had some more people on the road today, but unfortunately, well, we should have had, I should say, but we some persons fell ill, and so we were not able to have them working for us today, but we kind of sympathize with them and ensure, because we're going to need them at some other point, right? So thank you very much, Mr. Blackstock, and Gaston Williams over there in Portland. And we have now out of Central Jamaica coming in for us, well, out of St. Anne, we've got a report that was sent to us, and I'm going to ask my assistant, I'm going to bring him on camera to read what this other report that came out of St. Anne for me. All right. So I'm going to invite him to come on over um, to the camera and to read what it is that was sent to us. Good afternoon. And you maybe want to pull your chair around here, Mr. Burrell, who has been assisting me during the course of today. You are now fully on camera. So tell us exactly, come on over a little bit so that you can be fully into the camera space. All right. So what is it that we had this report coming out of St. Anne? What did it say?
Voting was without incident across St. Anne's and St. Mary this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Most polling stations open on the time EOJ staff, security personnel mainly police officers and party agents.
Mm-hmm.
Voting was heaviest between 7 and 9 a.m. Sorry, and pick up again at between 2 and 5 p.m. Most of the polling station visited in St. Anne's had smooth process within
Mm-hmm.
a few case lines
Yes.
with fewer than 5 people. Coffee Observer
That's a cafe.
or Cafe
Yes.
Observer were seen in
Uh-huh.
several locations in St. Mary,
Yes.
where a team of more than 40 of them were deployed.
Okay.
And
So
then
that's the end of that report out of St. Anne. I think there is some more here. All right. So move on up and let's hear a little bit more out of St. Anne. Go right ahead.
uh, not, a notice
Noticeable feature that they're reporting on. What was that?
most locations
Uh-huh.
were the large number of
Enthusiastic
party
party supporters.
supporters,
Yes.
mainly outdoor agents
Mm-hmm.
and runners decked out in the party colors. They sometimes turned each other and shouted sl- slangs,
Yes. Slogans. Yes. Uh-huh.
slogans from small polling divisions
Yes.
in the most communities like Chester District and
Mm-hmm.
in St. Anne through Upbound polling division and at Priority and Ocharias enthusiast
That's Prairie.
Priory.
Prairie. Yes. That's
Oh,
Prairie over there in St. Anne. Yes. Go ahead.
oh,
Prairie and Ocherias.
yes,
Enthusiastic runners, this report is saying, and outdoor agents helped people identify their polling stations. And what did they say about the EOJ there?
supervisors and other officials refused to speak on the record, but some indicate that voting had picked up late Monday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Many businesses, especially supermarkets and large groceries, pulled
Pull their
down
shutters. Their shutters.
their shutters,
Uh-huh.
closed their doors between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. to allow workers time off to vote.
All so good. So for that, Keneal Burrell, and Keneal has been giving me some support during the course of today as we moved around Northwest Clarendon in particular, and now into Northeast Manchester, where we're wrapping up. And as we said, 10 minutes away from the closure of the polls in Jamaica. And after this, we will be hearing about the counting of the votes that have been cast during this local government election of 2024. We still have a few persons that we are trying to reach. All right, I think we've got Fabian Ellis is in Central Jamaica reporting. Fabian, over to you.
This is Fabian Ellis reporting in for NRP Media. Observing the local government so far, what I've seen so far from this morning, a lot of people were getting to the polling stations to cast their votes. I have observed vehicles and taxi operators transporting people from their homes to the polling stations to cast their votes. Upon arriving at the polling station in my area, I see things as peaceful as could be.
Mhm.
There are a few playful taunts at each other, but nothing really out of the ordinary.
Okay.
There's no violence here. Everyone peacefully goes about and be about their business.
Mm-hmm.
Arriving in Mandeville, as the town is peaceful, there's no violence so far. The next polling station I've observed was at DC. Party members were in their colors, and some were trying to get the others to go to the polling station. During the time when I was actually stopped by there, I have noticed that things were very quiet. Things were very down because most people who have voted, they haven't gone to work already,
Mm.
just coming in to vote. Majority have gone in and they're waiting to leave off work to cast their vote.
Okay.
So things were quiet down there.
All right.
Still in town, still in the Mandeville town, and I've seen things as normal. There are no violence here, and there's no reports of anybody being charged for any form of violence during this election season.
Okay.
This is my report for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Fabian Ellis, there for with that report out of Central Jamaica, wrapping things up in somewhat as we move through the course of today. We do not have anyone on the road. I think we let me check over here. Brother Blackstock and Gaston gave me their report earlier on that we carried for you, and so We want to say thanks to them and the others of you who would have been working for us today. Thank you so much for the reports that you have given to our election day coverage. I think, though, that we had a discussion with Senior Superintendent of Police in charge of Area 3, right, Kenny? Right? That Superintendent SSP Miller. All right. Miller, what his name was. All right. Let me just check and to give you his correct title and name. SSP Miller. All right. So he spoke with us earlier on, and I think that's with the time that we have, we're going to be sharing that last viewpoint with SSP as we wrap things up on this election day. And this has been our election day coverage. So stand by. Let's do this last one with the SSP in audio, and we will wrap things up right after that.
Yes, no problem. Right. So, SSP Genfred Miller, you are the person in charge of Area 3 currently of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. What has it been for the JCF in these areas?
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Nash. Area 3, first and foremost, Area 3 consists of Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth. So, election for Area 3 so far, the local government election, would have kicked off this morning. Our persons were actually deployed to the various locations right across the area. So, actually, all of our polling locations would have actually opened at 7 o'clock where voting could have started. Since the day so far, we have got report of some minor incidents at some of the locations, especially within the Clarendon division, where there was an argument at one of the polling locations. Persons actually got into a fight, but the police would have actually intervened and actually quelled that situation. Would have got reports also of some loud noise in some areas, and would have actually made the necessary checks. But one of the things that we would have actually seen also that during patrolling the various thoroughfares, would have realized that 1 and 2 bars would have actually opened, so those persons were actually warned for prosecution, and our police officer ensured that they actually closed their doors. But so far in Area 3, it has been good in Area 3 so far, and we're just hoping that it remains the same. And we're asking the citizens of Area 3 to just be peaceful while casting your votes today and make today a safe day in Area 3.
SSP, what is the strategy for the JCF Area 3 when counting would have been done and the announcement pending or having been announced?
First and foremost, we have our teams in place who are on standby, waiting to go to the various counting centers first and foremost. So that's the fresh team, not the team that is working from this morning. And for the team from this morning, I can tell you some of our police officers are actually up from actually 3 a.m. this morning. So we have a team for the counting center. Also, we have fresh patrol to actually patrol the various divisions or parishes within Area 3 to ensure that enough police presence is out there later on. And we'll continue that. We also, just to note, that bars are required to open 6 hours after the closing of the polls, which will actually take them to 11 o'clock. And just to note that 11 o'clock, it's actually time for the bars to close again. So that's advice on bar owners. Open the bars tomorrow, not for the rest of the day.
SSP, I want to thank you so much, and we will keep in touch with you as it relates to. I wonder whether or not. Hold a second. Let me just end the recording and 1 second.
Okay.
Please.
All right, so that was SSP Glenford Miller speaking with us on NRP Radio regarding what was taking place in the area that's under his responsibility. So we're gonna do something here a little bit strange, but it's gonna happen, and then we will wrap things up.
The National Religious Partnership Media and Radio, your primary Christian source for news, sports, the weather, and top-of-the-line Christian music, will be taking it to the streets during this, local government election. Join our team of reporters as they traverse the hills and valleys, the nook and crannies to give you the latest happening, the voter turnout, the rivalry, the excitement, and more. This local government election day, Monday, February 26th, the counting on the election night, and yes, the celebration on the day after the election. Who will it be? Be there with NRP by the hour and by the day as we bring from the field to your ears. And now, over to our hosting studio. This is NRP Radio. You have just listened to some of our reporters providing the latest developments on the streets of Jamaica as Jamaicans elect their local government representatives in the 2024 local government elections. Keep it locked to NRP Radio. Another report will be provided during the course of the day.
Thank you very much there, Geneve, with the promo there. Thank you so much. You did a great job for us today for NRP Radio. And I want to say thanks to all of you who assisted the process during the course of the day. We're just about a minute or so from the closure of the polling stations across Jamaica. And later on this evening, starting at 6:30, we're going to be having a panel right here on NRP Radio to really push things ahead. So stay with us. This has been our daytime report, and we're looking forward to you joining us at 6:30 for the latest from the panel that will be looking at the results that will be flowing in on a night like this. Let's do the time signal and come right back. According to John 14, verse 27, I leave you peace. My peace I give you. I do not give it to you as the world does. So don't let your hearts be troubled or afraid. This is NRP Media and Radio. The time is 5 p.m. Well, it says there's a little bit about 5 o'clock. It's almost 5:01, right? 5:01 on NRP Radio. All right. So we are wrapping things up in terms of our broadcast for the course of today, and just checking to see if we've got any additional reports that are flowing from our reporters on the road, right? But at this time, we do not have those persons coming in, and so we are moving straight ahead into back to master control, and then to prepare for 6:30 when we will definitely be having the panel discussion with some really eminent persons. So we look forward to you joining us at that time. So mark it down in your diaries, mark it down in your schedule, and definitely please seek to join me at around 6:30 this evening. Join us here on NRP Radio at around 6:30 when we'll have for you the panel and looking at the entire package of what took place during the course of today. So without any further ado, we say thanks all around. And this is where we're going to be closing the link one more time. We'll come back at in another hour and a half, right, Kenny? It's an hour and a half from now. Oh yeah, 6:30. An hour and a half from now, when we will definitely be on with the panel discussion. So we're wrapping things up here, and handing back now to Master Control, which will definitely carry us through until 6:30. Normally at 6:30 we'd be having the news, but we're not going to be having the news this evening. We're going to be having a feedback from what's taking